4 p.m. on August 23, 1942, the striking force of the 6th German Army broke through to the Volga near the northern edge of Stalingrad, in the area of the villages of Ladyshinka, Akatovka, and Rynok. In the northern part of the city, in the area of the gunrack station, the German 14th Tank Corps encountered resistance from the Soviet anti-aircraft batteries of the 1077th Regiment under Lieutenant Colonel V.E.S. German, which included female gunners. The fighting continued until the evening of August 23. By the evening of August 23, 1942, German tanks appeared in the vicinity of the tractor plant, 1 to 1.5 kilometers from the factory workshops, and began shelling it. At this stage, the Soviet defense relied significantly on the 10th NKVD Rifle Division and the People's Militia, made up of workers, firefighters, and policemen. The tractor plant continued to manufacture tanks, which were manned by the plant's workers, and these were immediately sent from the assembly lines into battle. I.S. Chwayanov told the members of the film crew of the documentary Pages of the Battle of Stalingrad about how the enemy, who reached the Mokry Mashek before the Stalingrad defense line was organized, was deterred by Soviet tanks that drove out of the tractor factory gates without ammunition and crew. The tank brigade named after the Stalingrad proletariat advanced on August 23 to the defensive line north of the tractor factory, in the area of the Dry Mashek River. For about a week, the militia actively participated in defensive battles in the northern part of Stalingrad. Then they were gradually replaced by regular units. On the night of August 28, the 124th Rifle Brigade commanded by Stef Gorokov was transferred to the right bank of the Volga. It and several other Soviet units formed the group of Colonel Gorokov, which defended the approaches to the tractor factory. By September 1, 1942, the Soviet command could only supply its troops in Stalingrad through risky crossings over the Volga. In the midst of the ruins of the already destroyed city, the Soviet 62nd Army constructed defensive positions with fire points located in buildings and factories. Snipers and assault groups delayed the enemy as best they could. The Germans, advancing deeper into Stalingrad, suffered heavy losses. Soviet reinforcements were ferried across the Volga from the eastern bank under constant bombing and artillery fire. From September 13 to 26, the Wehrmacht forces pushed back the troops of the 62nd Army and broke into the city center, while at the junction of the 62nd and 64th Armies they broke through to the Volga. The river was completely in the line of fire of the German troops. There was a hunt for every vessel and even a boat. Despite this, during the battle for the city, more than 82,000 soldiers and commanders were transported from the left bank to the right, along with a large amount of military equipment, food supplies, and other military cargo, while about 52,000 wounded and civilians were evacuated to the left bank. The struggle for footholds at the Volga, especially on Mamiv Kurgan and at the factories in the northern part of the city, lasted for more than 2 months. The battles for the Red October factory, the tractor factory, and the Barricades artillery factory became known worldwide. While Soviet soldiers continued to defend their positions, firing at the Germans, workers from the factories repaired damaged Soviet tanks and weapons in close proximity to the battlefield, and sometimes even on the battlefield itself. Due to the danger of ricochet, firearms were used sparingly, and the opponents fought hand-to-hand, using stabbing, cutting, and bludgeoning objects. The German military doctrine was based on the interaction of branches of the armed forces in general and particularly close cooperation between infantry, sappers, artillery, and dive bombers. In response, Soviet fighters tried to position themselves within tens of meters from enemy positions, in which case German artillery and aviation could not operate without the risk of hitting their own. Often a wall, a floor, or a landing separated the opponents. In this situation, the German infantry had to engage the Soviet infantry on an equal basis, using rifles, grenades, bayonets, and knives. The fight was for every street, every factory, every residence, basement, or stairway. Even specific buildings appeared on maps and were given names: Pavlov's house, the mill, the department store, the elevator, the prison, the Zabolotny house, the milk house, the specialist's house, the L-shaped house, the nail factory, and others. The Red Army continually launched counterattacks, attempting to regain positions that had been previously lost. Mamiv Kurgan and the Stalingrad I railway station were captured and recaptured multiple times. Assault groups from both sides sought to utilize any means of access to the enemy, such as sewers, basements, and tunnels.